USA take on England raring to go after World Cup qualification disaster. The United States arrive at Wembley to take on England with a renewed sense of optimism, a young squad flowing with energy and a star man in Christian Pulisic who is capable of inspiring his nation back to international football's top table. It is in stark contrast to just over a year ago when the Americans were at rock bottom after failing to qualify for the World Cup for the first time in 32 years. A disastrous qualifying campaign ended in a humiliating defeat by Trinidad and Tobago. Bruce Arena's side needed just a point against the Caribbean nation to be virtually certain of securing at least a playoff spot but could not even manage that. That loss, coupled with Panama's last-gasp win over Costa Rica, left them with no plans for the summer. The devastation has now been replaced by optimism though as they turn to youth to rebuild. After over a year out of the national setup through injuries and club commitments, Borussia Dortmund starlet Pulisic is back in the fold. The highly regarded winger played in that disastrous campaign but remains front and center of their rebirth and admits excitement levels are high. "Yes, we had a tough year and I think what we have done now with the young players is good," he said on Wednesday. "We have this really good schedule coming now and we are playing with really good young players with good competition coming up is the best thing for our guys. To continue to learn we need to get these experiences and that's important. Of course watching the first few games of the World Cup, it hit me the most. I wanted to be there so bad but really it just gave me motivation to want to be there even more. We're really excited moving forward. We can't look back at what has happened over the past year and now we can just look forward and grow with these young faces, continue to gain experience and matches are the best way to do it so we're excited." Some notable names in this squad include Newcastle's pacey right-back DeAndre Yedlin, Wolfsburg's imposing John Brooks and MLS Defender of the Year Aaron Long. 6 players in the American squad at Wembley this evening are also playing in the Bundesliga, which has become something of a hotbed for young talent to thrive. Weston McKennie is one of those having impressed with shock after arriving from Dallas Juniors in 2016. The midfield powerhouse has been tipped to become a mainstay of the U.S. midfield and is excited to test himself against England. Many people are going into these games thinking, okay they're going to get blown away, or, it's England, they just almost won the World Cup, and it's Italy, a powerhouse, but going into these games as young players, it's definitely a good experience to get that under our belt and use it to progress for the future. Speaking of the future, the American squad also boasts 2 players with huge boots to fill. Jonathan Klinsmann, the son of German legend Jurgen Klinsmann, could make his national team debut against England. Unlike his father, whose attacking exploits made him one of the world's deadliest strikers, the 21-year-old plays in goal. He signed with Hertha Berlin last season after leaving the University of California, Berkeley and has made 1 appearance in a Europa League match. The other is Paris Saint-Germain starlet Timothy Weah, the son of the first African player to win the Ballon d'Or and current president of Liberia, George Weah. The 18-year-old has played only 3 times for PSG this season as bigger names such as Neymar, Kylian Mbappé and Edinson Cavani have limited his chances in the first team and a loan move beckons. The playing staff was not the only place personnel changes were made either. Carlos Cordero, a former partner at Goldman Sachs, was elected to a 4-year term as U.S. Soccer president and replaced Sunil Gulati at the helm. One of his first moves was to hire the national team's first-ever general manager, Ernie Stewart. He is tasked with appointing a new manager, scouring the globe for talent and ensuring a philosophy is identified and followed. He is yet to appoint a full-time head coach with interim manager Dave Sarakin, who was an assistant under Arena, still in charge. Columbus Crew's Greg Berhalter is said to be the favorite to take up the role and he is now available following their MLS Cup exit to New York Red Bulls. The Americans' results over the past 12 months have continued to be far from impressive, but if they can get anything against England, it will be more than a step in the right direction for this young squad. By Pavan Mohindru Christian Pulisic position, winger, age, 20, club, Borussia Dortmund, international appearances, 21 international goals, 9. The most notable player in the USA team, Borussia Dortmund winger Christian Pulisic can certainly give England's fullbacks something to think about at Wembley. His pace and ability to run at defenders are his best qualities, and he can play in a number of supporting positions as an attacking midfielder, second striker and a winger. The 20-year-old is naturally right-footed, but is also adept on his weaker left, making him a threat on either flank. Pulisic, who has Croatian heritage, came through the youth system at Dortmund and has made over 100 appearances for the Bundesliga leaders. Pulisic has an impressive 9 goals and 21 appearances for his country's senior side and also had a fantastic strike rate for their youth teams. Timothy Weah position, striker, age, 18, club, Paris Saint-Germain, international appearances, 7 international goals, 1. The son of 1995 World Player of the Year George Weah, Timothy has decided to play for the country of his birth instead of following his father, who played for Liberia. Weah broke onto the international scene earlier this year as a substitute against Paraguay, becoming the first player born this millennium to play for the senior USA side. Weah Jr. is a pacey striker with the ability to take on and beat defenders, while he also has a penchant for long-range shots from outside the area. Like his father did, Weah plays for Paris Saint-Germain, and has excelled in the UEFA Youth League in recent seasons, while his only goal thus far for USA was in a friendly against Bolivia. He has only played a handful of games for PSG's first team and is still a very raw, yet exciting talent. Bobby Wood position, striker, age, 25, club, Hannover 96, international appearances, 43 international goals, 13. With the absence of fellow forward Gyasi Zardes in the squad and the retirement of Clint Dempsey last year, the goal-scoring burden falls on Hannover 96 striker Bobby Wood. The Hawaiian has a respectable 13 goals in 43 appearances for his national side, and has scored in 3 friendlies this year. A move to Hannover 96 this summer followed Hamburg's relegation from the Bundesliga, and it was a fresh start for a player who only scored 12 goals in 55 games for the club. A tall, stocky forward, Wood is not the typical target man many would expect, as he is surprisingly fast and can run with the ball. John Brooks position, defender, age, 25, club, Wolfsburg, international appearances, 35, international goals, 3. Towering 6 feet 4 inches defender John Brooks is the United States rock in defense. The Wolfsburg centre-back is one of the most experienced players in interim manager Dave Sarachan's squad, and has played in 3 international tournaments for his country, including the World Cup. The German-born defender has made over 100 Bundesliga appearances and was subject of the social media hashtag #WolfBrooks during his time at Hamburg. His battle with Harry Kane will be an interesting one, and if USA do manage to keep a shock clean sheet, Brooks will no doubt be a major part of it. DeAndre Yedlin position, defender, age, 25, club, Newcastle, international appearances, 56, international goals, 0. USA's most capped outfield player in the squad. Premier League fans and in particular Newcastle fans will be used to watching DeAndre Yedlin. The former Spurs and Sunderland defender, now Newcastle's first-choice right-back, will no doubt test England's left side at Wembley. The Seattle native has electric pace and loves to get forward on the right-hand side to support the attack. With the pace of the Newcastle man, along with Pulisic roaming in front of him and the unpredictability of Timothy Weah, USA may provide a bigger threat than most expect at Wembley. Dave Sarachan USA's failure to qualify for this summer's World Cup in Russia for the first time in 32 years saw the end of Bruce Arena's second spell in charge. Arena resigned after the 2-1 loss to Trinidad and Tobago in World Cup qualifying in October 2017. Dave Sarachan, who has been Arena's right-hand man for much of his career, was named interim manager. The 64-year-old has mostly been an assistant manager throughout his long coaching career, which began at a university team in the mid-70s, apart from a 5-year spell in charge of Chicago Fire between 2002 and 2007 where he managed more than 160 games. Sarkin has been in charge for 10 games and has built a reputation of including younger players in his squads as the USA national side look to the future.